In this session, we are going to create a game called Knock the Cans. The purpose of this game basically will be to knock the cans off. So there will be 5 cans, all right, and we're going to knock these cans using a ball. So let's start the process of creating a game. Let's create a plane here first for the game. So go to 3D and click on plane here. Reset the plane to 0, 0, 0. Get the camera on the z-axis to minus 5.43. 5.43. Okay, that's fine. Go to 3D object and click on plane here. Okay, let's bring it to 0. Let's keep it to 0. 4.52. 4.06. Rotation on x-axis will be 270. All right, that's it. Let's create a ball holder here. Basically, the ball holder is going to be the cube. Okay, so I'm going to create a cube. You can use any kind of assets you want to. You can use tables, you can use chairs, whatever you want to. I'm going to create a cube here as a ball holder. All right, so let's create a cube. Let's scale the cube on the x-axis to 1. On the y-axis, keep it to 0.2. And on the z-axis, keep it to 0.3. Okay. Position the cube on the x-axis to 0. 0.51 minus 4.68. So let's create another cube here. Can holder, and this is your ball holder. Okay, so let's go to can holder again. Position the can holder cube on the x-axis to 0. Go here 0.5 and on the z-axis to minus 1.8. I have downloaded some textures here. So let's just drag and drop the texture for the ball holder here. All right, on this, our ball will be placed basically in the center. Okay, let's apply the texture for the can holder here. Let's apply textures for the ground here. For plane 1 and for plane 2 here. Now, let's create some cans here. So how do we create cans here? We are going to create a cylinder basically for the cans. All right. So let's create your first can here. So go to game object, go to 3D, click on cylinder here. So let's go to scene mode and scale the can to 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. Let's place the can here. I think it's too big. Let's scale it down to 0.2 probably. Yeah, 0.2 and 0.2. Okay, looks better. Bring it a little down. Okay, let's place it here. That's the first can. So our can has got a capsule collider here. Let's remove the capsule collider for the can and let's apply a mesh collider. Okay, and click on convex here. Let's add a rigid body to the can now. Let's go to the can holder here and let's apply a rigid body to can holder as well. Okay, let's increase the mass to probably 500. Select the cylinder game object here or your first can and press on Ctrl D to replicate the can basically. Okay, let's just place the cans here properly. Okay, so I've created all the cans here. Let's give it a little darker look. So for the main camera here, I don't want a skybox here, so select solid color and let's apply a black color to it. For the directional light, I don't want a directional light here. Let's make it dark and let's add a spotlight to it. Okay, let's bring it here. Let's adjust the spotlight. Let's add one more spotlight to it. I think, yeah, that looks better. Let's reduce the range a little bit till it starts looking good. Yeah, that looks better. All right, let's create a ball here which will be placed on the ball holder here. We have to create a prefab here basically which will be spawned or instantiated when we click on the spawn button, which we are going to create later. All right, so for the ball, let's create a sphere game object here. So go to game object and click on 3D object and click on sphere here. All right, scale the ball to 0.15 on the x-axis, 0.15 on the y-axis and 0.15 on the z-axis. On the x-axis, position the ball to 0. On the y-axis, position the ball to 0.691. And on the z-axis, position the ball to minus 4.695. All right, let's apply a texture to the ball now. Okay, perfect. Now let's create a button here on the extreme left to spawn the ball, because this ball will only be spawned when you click on the spawn button here. So right click here, go to game object UI and click on button here. Okay, left and bottom 55.5. On the y-axis to 26.6. 0 is fine. Keep the width of the button to 84.5. All right, let's change the color for the button here that matches the background. Okay, let's change the text color for the button. Okay, and change the text to spawn. Alright, that's it. We have created a level here. In the next session, we are going to create a script to shoot the ball, to drag and shoot the ball basically, and to knock the cans down. Also, we are going to create a script to spawn the ball once we throw the ball on the cans. Alright, in this session, we are going to apply a script to the ball so that we can throw the ball, shoot the ball on the cans here. But before doing so, let's go to the sphere game object here, which is our ball, and let's apply a rigid body to it. So click on add component here and select rigid body here. So let's go and write a piece of code. Let's create a script here so that we can attach that script to the sphere game object, and then we can throw the ball on the cans. All right. So let's start writing a piece of code here. Before doing so, we need to declare a few variables here. Private vector3 mouse press down position, then private vector3 mouse release position, then the rigid body. To get the rigid body applied to the sphere game object, rigid body RB. Then we have private bool variable to check if we have thrown the ball or not. So is shoot vector3 throw destination ray, ray 1 and ray 2. Okay, we don't need an update function here, so let's remove the update function. Inside the start function, let's call a rigid body. So rb equals to get component rigid body. So over here, we are going to use two functions inside Unity. One is your on mouse down. On mouse down is used to detect when we have clicked the mouse button. And the second function is the on mouse up function. It is triggered when you actually release the mouse button. All right, so let's create void on mouse down function. So mouse press down position, because this is where you are clicking on the ball to throw it. All right. So mouse press down position equals to input dot mouse position. Then ray 1 equals to camera dot main dot screen point to ray mouse press down position. Camera.main.screen point to ray function basically returns a ray going from camera through a screen point. After this, we're going to declare on mouse up function. This is triggered when you release the mouse. All right. So mouse release position equals to input dot mouse position. Okay, this is when you release the mouse to shoot the ball. Again, ray 2 equals to camera dot main dot screen point to ray mouse release position. We're going to create a raycast hit, raycast hit, hit result. So what is raycast? Raycast in Unity is like a laser beam basically. It's like a ray basically which starts from its origin point, moves ahead in its specified direction and goes to its maximum distance specified. Alright. Raycast will return true if it gets hit with any object, else false. Now this object needs to have a collider. Then physics dot raycast ray 2 and then out throw destination equals to hit result dot point. Let's create another function to actually shoot the ball in this particular direction. Now we have a throw destination. Okay, so let's create a function here to actually shoot the ball. Void raycast shoot if is shoot, then return equals to true. So rb dot add force new vector 3 throw destination dot x on the x-axis, then throw destination dot y on the y-axis, and throw destination dot y again on the z-axis. Into 160 is fine. Let's declare this raycast shoot function here inside on mouse up function. Okay, so when we release the mouse, raycast shoot function will be triggered here. Click on the sphere game object here. We have already applied rigid body. Let's apply the script now. Drag and throw. Okay, let's run the scene and let's see if we can shoot the ball on the cans now. Yes. In this session, we are going to create two scripts. One is the manager script, which is going to manage the entire game. And the another is the script where we are going to detect if the can has been knocked down or not. But before doing so, we are going to create a tag and attach this tag to the plain game object here. Okay, so go to plain object and select tag here and click on add tag. And then new tag name my ground and just save it. All right, so we have our tag here, which is my ground. Again, click on plain game object, go to tag and select my ground here. All right. Okay, inside the manager script, let's declare two variables, public int number of cans knocked equals to 0 and public int chance count equals to 0. Now let's create an empty game object manager and let's attach the manager script to the empty game object. All right. So game object, create empty, name the object as manager, go to add component here and manager script. So let's start with declaring the variables here. Bool C checked equals to false. Then we have manager M. Okay, and inside the start function, we need to find the game object to which this manager script is attached to. So how do we do that? M equals to find object of type manager. So inside the update function, let's write an if condition to check if the can has been knocked down or not. We are going to check for the position of the can basically. So let's write an if condition. If game object dot transform dot up dot y lesser than 0.5 f C checked equals to false, M dot number of can knocked equals to M dot number of cans knocked plus 1, and C checked equals to true. Now to detect the collision with the floor, let's write an on collision enter function here, void on collision enter collision call if call dot game object tag equals to my ground and C checked false, M dot number of cans knocked equals to M dot number of cans knocked plus 1. C checked equals to true. So click on cylinder 1 here, check can down. So to view the number of cans knocked down, click on the manager game object here and let's run the scene. Let's throw the ball. Okay, so we have one can knocked down. Okay, let's play the game again. Okay, so we have knocked 2 cans now. It's working perfect. But we can see here the chance count is not increasing. So let's also increase the number of chance count here. Let's declare a manager. Okay, and again, m equals to find object of type manager. Inside the Rekha shoot function, m dot chance count equals to m dot chance count plus 1. Okay, so 4 cans, number of cans knocked is 4 and chance count is 1. It's working perfect. In this session, we are going to spawn the ball using this spawn button here. Altogether, the player is going to get 5 chances to spawn the ball. Alright, but to spawn the ball, we need to create a prefab out of the ball. A prefab is basically a simple template which can be used to create instances of that particular game object. All right, but before creating a prefab of the ball, let's tag the ball first. Okay, so go to the sphere game object here and click on tag and add new tag here. Name the tag as my ball and save it. Okay, again click on the sphere game object here, go to tag and select my ball here. All right, and the tag my ball now is added to the sphere game object. Okay, after doing that, create a folder called prefabs inside the asset folder and just drag and drop your sphere game object inside the prefabs folder. And the prefab is created. Since we have created a prefab here, we will disable the sphere game object, and the sphere game object by default won't be visible inside the scene unless we click on the spawn button here. Okay, so let's go and write a piece of code to spawn the sphere game object or the ball in the game. All right, so I have already created a script here called ball spawn. Let's declare a few variables here. Manager m game object ball. Inside the start function, again we need to find the object of type manager. So find object of type manager. We don't need an update function here, so let's just remove the update function, and instead of update function, let's create a function, a custom function, public void spawn ball. Let's write an if condition here. If game object dot find object with tag my ball equals to null. This is to check if the ball is already been spawned or not. M dot chance count lesser than 5. So we are giving the player only 5 chances to knock all the cans off. Okay, so the chance count should be lesser than 5 if we want to spawn the ball. So to spawn the ball, we need to use instantiate, which is a function in Unity. Let's put a ball and the position at which we want to spawn the object. 0 on the x-axis, 0.691 f on the y-axis, minus 4.695 f on the z-axis. And for the rotation, it's quaternion dot identity. Let's write an else condition also. Print ball already exists. Now go to drag and throw script. Once we shoot the ball here and once the chance count is increased by 1 here or incremented by 1 here, let's destroy the game object here. Destroy game object after 3 seconds. Let's create an empty game object here and name the game object as spawn. Okay, so create empty and let's name this object as spawn object. Okay, and let's attach the script ball spawn to this object. Ball spawn. Okay. Now we can see none game object here for the ball. So let's just drag and drop the prefab here inside this. Open the canvas here. Go to the button. This is the spawn button basically. Click on this plus here. just drag the spawn object here, go to ball spawn and spawn ball function. And let's run the scene and let's see if we are able to spawn the ball or not. Okay, let's try clicking on the spawn button here. Yes, we are able to spawn the ball. Okay, ball already exists. Okay, let's go to the manager here and let's look at the chance count. So yes, it's 2. Let's spawn the ball again. Okay, 3. Okay, 3 cans knocked and 4 chances gone. Are we able to spawn the ball now? Over here it shows ball already exists, but the chance count is 5 here, and in fact our game is over. So in the next session we are going to create a pop-up, okay, wherein we are going to display the game is over once the chance count is 5. In this session we are going to create a pop-up to know if the player has won the game or if the player has lost the game. So right click on the canvas here, go to UI and click on panel. Let's name it as win panel here and keep it to stretch, and let's adjust the panel now. Let's change the color for the panel here. Now inside the panel, let's add a text. So right click on the panel here, go to UI and go to text mesh pro here. Let's reduce the size to 16. Yes, that's fine. Let's change the color for the text here. Let's keep it to red color. Let's change again the color for the button here. Let's keep it to, I think, little yellowish button. Extend the button here. Go to text. Let's change this to replay. Again, change the color for the font here or the text here. Let's keep it to black. Uncheck the win panel now because we don't want to show it at the start of the game. We just want to show it if the player wins the game here. So let's just uncheck this. Click on the text here. You have, and instead of won the game, just change it to lost the game. Keep the text for the button as it is, okay? So we have created 2 panel. One is the win panel and other is the lose panel here. Uncheck the lose panel here. Now let's go to the manager script and let's write a piece of code to actually display these panels on the basis of the results, whether the player has lost the game or whether the player has won the game. Let's declare a bool variable here. Bool decision made equals to false. Public game object win panel, public game object lose panel. Now let's create a coroutine function here. Coroutine is basically a special function in Unity used to stop any kind of execution until some condition is met, and again it continues from where it had left off. So I enumerator load win panel yield return new wait for seconds 1f win panel dot set active true, and then decision made equals to true. I enumerator load lose panel yield return new wait for seconds 3.5f lose panel dot set active true decision made equals to true. Inside the update function, if number of cans knocked equals to 5 and decision made equals to false and chance count lesser than equal to 5, to run the coroutine function, we need to use start coroutine, and inside this we can pass our function which is load win panel. Else if number of cans knocked lesser than 5 and decision made equals to false and chance count equals to 5, then start coroutine load loose panel. That's it. Now go to the manager game object here. Just drag and drop win panel here to win panel and loose panel here for the loose panel. All right. So this is the replay script. We don't need start and update functions here. Let's create a function here to restart the game. So public void restart scene manager dot load scene knock cans level 1. That's the name of our scene. Basically, it's knock cans level 1, but we can see the error here. Okay, using Unity engine.scene management. We need to import using Unity engine.scene management if we want to use scene manager in the scene. Extend the win panel here and go to the button inside the win panel. Click on add component and select replay here. Click on the plus icon here. Drag the button here. Go to replay. Select restart here. Let's run the scene now and let's see how the game looks now. Okay, you have won the game. Great. So let's click on the replay button here. Okay, you have lost the game. Let's click on the replay button again and we can again start playing the game here.